Our team, this was a very, very complete performance against a really good basketball team, a team that was in the top 10 in a lot of different categories defensively coming into this game. I thought for the first time in a few games, we actually played well in the first half, and I thought we did a really good job defensively in the first half to hold them to 31%. And then we were able to get a little bit of a lead at halftime. I'm really proud of how we shared the basketball tonight. The ball was moving and had great energy. Guys weren't concerned about who was scoring. They were just concerned about us getting a really good shot. And I thought we had a great spacing, great pace, and really made some good decisions. So really proud of this win, to be able to come on the road for the first time in a true road game on someone's court, and to have a performance like this is outstanding. Hopefully something we can build on.
Jeff, you mentioned it last week. You got 3 wins, but your team, took a while to get going. What led to them being able to get going in the first half and really never slow down?
I don't know. Yesterday is the first time we've practiced in a while, where we actually practiced. We've had so many games in a row. We really hadn't had a real practice since before we left to go to New York. We've just been doing walkthroughs. And so maybe that had something to do with it. The fact that we got up and down a little bit, we competed a little bit in practice. One of the things that I talked to our guys about, really the first time we were doing that in the last 3 games was really the last 4 games was the first half in games where we were actually doing any 5-on-5 and competing. So maybe that had something to do with it. Certainly making shots has a lot to do with it. That energizes you, and we were able to make shots at a high level.
Nelly Cummings had 17 points, 6 assists tonight. How would you describe, his performance tonight?
It was outstanding, and we felt, we were hoping it was a matter of time. He's a really good player. He hadn't shot the ball well this year. He's played well, but he hadn't shot the ball well, and he was able to make some shots, but also he controlled the game with getting us into stuff, making good decisions, and being strong with the basketball.
What about on the defensive end? He drew, I think, 3 or 4 offensive fouls on Northwestern. How was, his production on that end?
Yeah, it was really good. Nelly's a guy that really, along with some of our other guys, that really studies a scouting report, like really tries to get tendencies, wants to watch extra tape. And so I think he was able to learn some things over the past couple of days, and watching, Bowie, watching Audij, kind of knowing their tendencies, and was able to, pick up some plays that way.
Jeff, if I would have told you this morning that you guys would beat that team by almost 30 without John scoring a single point, would you have believed me?
Not. I wouldn't necessarily say by 30,
yeah.
But I would have thought we would have played well. We these other guys are good players, and John didn't score, but he attracts a lot of attention. So some of the things that he does doesn't show up in a score in a stat sheet.
What has Nike's resurgence here recently meant to you guys? He came off the bench, 11 points.
It's been huge, and it's more than that, man. It's the passes, it's the force that he's playing with, the athleticism, the pop again, the strength that he's playing with. He's defending. On the perimeter, it gives us another, we think, really good defender on the perimeter. He's making great decisions. I'm really happy for him. Coming back, from that injury and being out for so long and trying to find his way back, and then, at times maybe doubting himself or not sure what his role is. And, he and I talked, and his role is just to be a really good player. And he's a guy that, whether he starts, comes off the bench, I look at him as a starter. I think we have 6 starters, and, he's a guy is in that mix. And, he came in the game in the first half. I don't think I took him out once I brought him in the first half, and he impacts the game in a lot of ways.
You talked about, to expand upon his role there, Jeff, is that where he provides the most value, is to having that second starter or that 6th starter coming off the bench and really not missing anything with whatever guard you replace him with?
Yeah, and hopefully he can, there are things that Nike can do that the others can't. Mm-hmm. And that's, one of the things he and I talked about. I don't want Nike trying to be Greg or Nelly or JB. We need him to be him and play to his strengths. And, when we put this team together, we thought he would be a very important part of it. He didn't get off to a good start, but he stayed with it, and he's playing really well right now. So I'm very, very happy for him.
Jeff, in each of your team's last 5 games, your 3-point shooting percentage has gone up. Is that just something as we're seeing your guys getting more time together on the court and the ball movement's there and it's creating better looks. What is that allows them to continue to improve each game from behind the arc?
Well, number one, I think we're good shooters. I know we hadn't shot the ball as well coming into this game, but I think we are good shooters. I do think getting used to each other. I think this is the 5th game that we've had everyone that's able to play. Where we've had maybe the 4th game. I think it's the 4th game where we've had everyone. But it was 4 games really without any practices. And so I think that's really helped us having a day yesterday, at least where we can get up and down and get a feel and doing things like that. And I think guys just becoming more confident in who we are as a team. We're still trying to figure out who we are as a team. Today was a big step.
Do you feel like this was how this team's built to win? By the way you guys played today, by shooting from the outside and quick ball movement?
Yeah. When we put it together, that and along with John, obviously he was a big part of it. And so definitely that.
In the win tonight, and obviously even in some of those losses early this season, JB has been pretty consistent. Scoring, passing the ball. What is his importance to this offense? How consistent has he been for you guys? He's
been very consistent. He gets us into stuff. He's strong. He has a good poise out there, a good feel. He defends. He leads. For those 2 guys to have 13 assists and I think 3 turnovers is huge for us tonight.
Jeff, you mentioned it, I think it was after the Alabama State game, where in the first half, you felt like your group maybe wasn't confident when it came to shooting the ball. Do you feel like now they have that confidence?
I hope so.
And then after a win like this, just moving forward, do you think that this is something that they can revert back to even in, months from now, just saying like, look what we were able to do against Northwestern, we can do it against anyone?
I hope so. Look, we're when we get back and we get back together, we'll be off tomorrow. When we get back together on Wednesday, we'll flush this and we got to move on to the next play. And that's getting ready for NC State. We have another road win. It's our first conference. They're a really good team. And so hopefully we can build on this. Look, I'd love to be able to shoot 14 for 22 all year. That probably is not going to happen. But the thing we have to do is defend.
Blake had 8 rebounds tonight, 6 of them offensively. What kind of impact does he make on the offensive glass?
He makes a huge impact on the floor for us everywhere. Offensively scoring. He's become a better defender. He can stretch the floor for us. I thought he made some good drives and passes today. But certainly on the offensive glass, he's a guy that's physical and has a knack for the ball. All right.